Hi, and welcome back to Plastic Models by a Regular Dude. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. Won't be talking about any models. Doing a tag kind of thing. So, I was tagged by Persson, and apparently the way this works is somebody who gets tagged has to talk about 3 other hobbies that he or she is digging. So here's Persson's video where he got tagged. So he tagged me as one of the people. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of my other hobbies. But real quick, let's say hello to Loki. Loki. There's Loki, the mighty cat. So, 3 other hobbies. First, I would have to probably say, and not necessarily in this order, but the first one is reading. I like to read. A lot of people like to do that as a hobby. I read nonfiction and fiction. Nonfiction type stuff generally is more military related, specifically World War II type stuff. One of my favorite World War II authors is Cornelius Ryan. He wrote The Longest Day, about the D-Day invasion, stuff leading up to and the day of D-Day. He also wrote A Bridge Too Far, about Operation Market Garden, everything that entailed getting that together, and then the actual battle itself. And the last battle, which is about the Battle of Berlin. So that's one thing. That's nonfiction kind of stuff. For fiction, I like all kinds of stuff. I don't really have one particular author. Well, I do have one particular author I like best, but I'll get to that in a second. But some authors I like: Stephen King, Salem's Lot being probably my favorite book, along with Cycle of the Werewolf. Those are some good ones. Salem's Lot, I think, was done in '75. One of his older novels, but as far as I'm concerned, one of his best. Then Michael Crichton, the Jurassic Park series, and some of his other stuff. I really like the whole, science and all that kind of stuff mixed in. So really good stories. But my favorite author is probably going to have to be J.R.R. Tolkien, The Lord of the Rings, and his other works as well. First time I read Lord of the Rings was 78, freshman year of high school, and I was hooked. I've read it off and on through the years, tons of times. It's just really, really good stuff. It's, in the fantasy genre, which I don't like. But this is a lot different than your typical fantasy stuff. So anyway, reading is one of my hobbies that I like to indulge in other than model building. So next hobby I would have to say that I enjoy is skateboarding. I don't do it much like I used to, but I still get on the board every once in a while. Started that back in the old days in the 70s and went through numerous boards and just, really enjoyed it. And every once in a while I still get on my board, which is a 1985, 86, maybe 87, anyway, mid-late 80s, GNS Neil Blender model. And old school board, a lot of fun to ride, and still totally rideable. I have a lot of fun on it. But I just tool around out in the asphalt and stuff like that. Don't do much as far as tricks and that kind of stuff because, just don't do enough to keep sharp. But skateboarding has always been one of my hobbies that I enjoy. Now, my number one hobby, other than model building, and I'm not saying that it's taken second place to model building, but I'm not saying it takes first place either, but probably my all-time favorite is BMX, bicycle motocross. Started riding, BMX type bikes back in the mid 70s. shortly after the release of the American film On Any Sunday, which kind of got the ball rolling with the first few, probably less than a minute of the intro to the movie was a bunch of kids on bicycles with paper plates with numbers written on them taped to their handlebars, and they're making revving sounds like they're on, real deal motocross bikes, and bam, they take off and just like they're on motorcycles, and that got the ball rolling for BMX. And I've always enjoyed it. Now, the BMX that I participated in was a lot different than what it is now. Whenever I was riding BMX, it was mainly, it was mostly centered around racing, and racing, and then jumping in fields and building jumps and stuff like that. But racing is what it was all about back then. And I did race. I started in October of 1980 and was active, very, very active in it until 86, 87, something like that. Started as a novice, worked my way up to expert, and from there I finally turned pro, and just had a lot of fun, and I still indulge in that. As a matter of fact, a few years ago, I built this bike here. That is an SE Racing Flow Flyer. Built it from the ground up. Built that about 6 years ago, maybe, and have a lot of fun on that. Riding around in the parking lot, getting some jumping going on, stuff like that. And like it so much that I'm building another bike, and here's where it looks like so far. That project should be done hopefully in the next month or so. I'm building that one from the ground up as well. It's an SE Bikes Gaudium. It's a kind of a signature model for Chris Fox. Super good park rider. But that's the other hobby I really enjoy, and I think that's the one I enjoy the most out of right up there with model building. Keeps me active, gets the adrenaline flowing every once in a while, and I just really enjoy it. So anyway, that is the 3 hobbies that I like to participate in other than model building. So hope you enjoyed that little bit. It's not very long, but kind of gives you an idea, and that's some of the other stuff I like to do. There's other things I like to do too, but off the top of my head I can't think of anything. But anyway, that's it. So thanks for joining me here on Plastic Models by a Regular Dude, and the 3 hobbies other than model building that I enjoy. So stay tuned for an upcoming video soon. In the meantime, all of y'all that read or watch my channel here, look for your name in the comments down below, and maybe you can do a video kind of like this. Alright, so thanks for watching, and I will see you all later.